Okay, let's unpack this. You know those names that just carry weight across the universe? Names that make galaxies tremble? In Dragon Ball, few names are as chillingly iconic, as purely evil as Frieza.
Oh, absolutely.
This is the architect of the Saiyan genocide, a ruthless tyrant, the emperor of the universe.
Yeah, his reputation is definitely earned through, well, centuries of conquest and terror. When we first met him, he was already this dominant force, seemingly effortlessly powerful.
And that really brings us to the big question driving this deep dive. How did this naturally gifted tyrant, who famously never trained for most of his life, manage to evolve? Like evolve into a being capable of going toe-to-toe, or even outright dominating warriors who've reached literal divine levels of power?
Right. It seems impossible.
It really does.
Yeah.
But the material we've reviewed shows this terrifying path of constant, sometimes shocking, evolution.
It really does. So our goal today is to trace that power journey using the information we have, from his chilling debut on planet Namek all the way to his latest, truly astonishing transformation.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we'll pull out some surprising facts and insights that really highlight just how uniquely persistent and dangerous Frieza is as a villain.
So where else to start but back on planet Namek? When Frieza first showed up, he was pretty much the undisputed ruler of Universe 7, right?
Pretty much, yeah. He maintained his empire through sheer fear and overwhelming power, responsible for conquering and destroying hundreds of planets, including the Saiyan homeworld, planet Vegeta. He was like the final boss of that whole era.
Totally.
But what's really fascinating about his initial appearance, and maybe surprising to some folks, is how he chose to present his power. Those forms we saw his first, second, and third transformations. Well, they weren't actually power-ups at all.
Wait, hold on. So his iconic forms weren't getting stronger?
No. The material indicates they were deliberate suppressions of his true natural power.
Wow.
His sleek, final form, what we first thought was his ultimate transformation, that was actually his base state back then. He used those bulkier, more monstrous forms, basically, as limiters, just to control his immense power and avoid, accidentally destroying planets or his own soldiers during routine stuff.
That's wild. So his suppressed power levels were already completely off the charts compared to almost anyone else at the time.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking his first form being around 530,000 and his second form pushing well over 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then he revealed what he called his true final form, his fourth state. And the heroes were just, completely shocked by the raw power.
Exactly. And here's a crucial point about that initial power. We learned that at this stage, controlling like 70% of the universe and being one of its most powerful beings, he had achieved this incredible level of strength without ever training once in his life.
Not once.
That raw inherent capability is almost unheard of. It's kind of nuts.
It really emphasizes what he was just born with.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes his eventual defeat on Namek by the newly transformed Super Saiyan Goku all the more devastating for him.
Absolutely devastating.
It was the very thing Frieza feared so much, he committed genocide over it.
Mm-hmm. And the sources mention that this defeat left him with this deep-seated fear of Super Saiyans, and even something, kind of like PTSD afterwards.
A psychological scar that clearly lingered alongside the physical trauma.
Yeah. But of course, that wasn't the end of Frieza's story. Not by a long shot.
Far from it.
Yeah.
And here's where his journey takes a really sharp turn. We see him return in the Resurrection F Saga. He's back after spending time in Earth's hell.
Which, according to the accounts, he found utterly torturous.
And the reason.
Because he was forced into exposure to joy and happiness and, cute, fluffy things.
Clutch Jekyll, only Frieza. Tortured by happiness.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's back, deeply unhappy, and his motivation is crystal clear. Revenge against Goku.
Yep. And he'd also heard about Goku and Vegeta reaching these new levels, the Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue forms.
These godly forms.
Right. These were transformations that tapped into divine power, moving beyond the limits of ordinary mortals. And this news, it prompted a significant decision from Frieza. For the very first time, he decided he needed to train.
Which is huge for him. And what's incredible, according to the material, is just how short this training period actually was.
Unbelievably short, just 4 months.
4 months, after never training a day in his entire long life.
Mm-hmm.
And the result was Golden Frieza.
Golden Frieza. And we're told this form initially put him directly on par with Super Saiyan Blue Goku.
Think about that for a second. 4 months versus decades of intense life-or-death training for Goku and Vegeta. It's It's insane.
It was an absolutely insane leap in power, but the accounts also point out a critical flaw in this rush transformation.
Okay, what was that?
He had significant stamina issues in this golden form. He just couldn't maintain that intense power for long.
Yeah.
It was a clear sign of his inexperience with, sustained exertion at that level.
Right, he jumped into the deep end without building the endurance first.
Exactly.
But the significance remains huge. The previously untrained Tyrant had, with just 4 months of focused effort, entered the realm of the gods. It completely redefined what we thought was possible for someone like him.
And then we see him again later, right? In the massive tournament of power.
Oh, yeah.
This time he's fully revived and, in a crazy twist, forced into this highly cynical alliance with Goku.
Yeah, they needed to team up for Universe 7's very survival, though Frieza naturally still had his own ultimate goals in mind.
Always. And we learned that his golden form is much improved here. Those stamina issues from Resurrection F
Gone.
apparently resolved. The material indicates he figured it out through mental training he did while he was back in hell again.
Slight chuckle. Of course he did. Only Frieza would use cosmic damnation as, like, a personal training retreat.
Pretty much. But it shows he can adapt, and he demonstrated evolution beyond just raw power in this tournament. We see him displaying tactics, cunning, outright manipulation.
Like his cold betrayal of Frost.
Exactly. Another member of his race from a different universe who Frieza clearly saw as just, well, an amateur beneath him.
What's fascinating, though, is that strange, almost uncomfortable partnership he forms with Goku.
Right.
The sources highlight how surprisingly effective their tag team coordination was, even against fighters like Jiren.
Yeah, there are even moments where Frieza seems to earn a measure of maybe not respect, but acknowledgement for Goku and other Universe 7 fighters, like openly admiring Gohan's strategic leadership at one point.
That's surprising.
And another key development here, he's apparently no longer seeking immortality. He apparently learned from his horrific experience being trapped and crippled in hell that being unable to die wasn't actually something he wanted anymore.
So he can learn from past mistakes.
Sometimes, at least specific, very traumatic ones. His resilience and absolute will to survive were just undeniable, though, and crucial to Universe 7's eventual victory.
Okay, and all of this builds to his most recent, and I argue most terrifying evolution yet. Let's talk about Black Frieza.
Quick heads up, this is from the recent manga, so if you're not caught up, minor spoiler warning here.
Yeah, absolutely shocking reveal. We learned that he achieved this new form by exploiting a hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah.
The place where time flows differently.
Right, the room of spirit and time.
Yeah, allowing for years of training in just a short period of outside time.
Yeah.
And he spent a staggering 10 years of focused, intense training in there.
10 years. That is a massive commitment compared to his previous 4-month sprint.
Huge difference. And the reveal was just brutal and immediate. He just appears and instantly defeats both true Ultra Instinct Goku and Ultra Ego Vegeta.
2 of their absolute peak godly transformations.
With a single blow each, just takes them out.
Wow.
According to the latest information, this instantly made him potentially the strongest mortal in Universe 7.
Stronger than Goku and Vegeta. Potentially, yeah. A possibility even hinted at by an Oracle Fish prophecy we learned about previously. And his ultimate goal has now expanded. He intends to defeat the Omni Kings, the Supreme Rulers, and rule the entire multiverse.
That's a terrifying level of ambition. Just next level.
It really is.
And here's a really surprising insight we came across, specifically from the author himself, Toyjiro. He explained the inspiration for the name Black Frieza.
Oh yeah, this was interesting. It actually comes from the world of banking. Like a supreme level of credit card, the black card following gold.
A black card? Seriously?
Seriously, he mentioned it was kind of a joke, but he felt it perfectly suited the character.
And when you think about it, it really does, doesn't it?
It kind of does.
The material discusses how this name fits him perfectly as this ruthless, greedy, galactic businessman who literally profits from conquering and selling planets. He's the embodiment of predatory capitalist greed on a cosmic scale.
And the ominous connotation of the color black just adds to that whole vibe. And if we look at the bigger picture here, this transformation isn't just about a physical power-up. It really shows Frieza truly learned from his mistake with the golden form.
How so?
Well, he didn't rush this one. He took the time, a full decade inside the time chamber, to truly master this new level of power before he even revealed it.
Right, that patience is new for him.
That level of patience and calculation, combined with his frankly, insane natural potential and this newfound training discipline. It's chilling.
So we've traced his terrifying rise from a pampered, untrained emperor with unimaginable inherent power, capable of ruling the galaxy even while, like, actively suppressing his strength, to a being who spent a decade mastering a new form that could instantly defeat Goku and Vegeta in their absolute peak transformations.
His power evolution is, frankly, unparalleled within the series. He truly endures as Dragon Ball's most consistently relevant, constantly evolving, and utterly terrifying villain, no question.
And that leaves us with a final, maybe provocative thought for you, the listener, to consider. Given Frieza's ability to achieve such staggering power purely through focused training, a non-godly, non-Saiyan path, how can Goku and Vegeta possibly bridge this new power gap?
Right. Or what does Frieza's unique blend of, natural potential and now acquired training discipline actually mean for the future of power in the Dragon Ball universe?
Something for you to think about and explore further on your own.